And
how early was it that you did the first session on the sound system?
well, this should be like about 56.
56.
Yeah.
And the
56.
first release was like the same year.
It's same here, yeah. Shuffling jug, pine juice, cane juice and stuff like that, yeah.
Something that is very important, and you know, as I'm saying, not being a musicologist or whatnot, I think it's important to get the background of the people who are in these first sessions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the way in which I played, as you said, the guitar is, you know, the strong kind of beat, it's obvious that he was not responding. The thing that came on was a dominant thing.
Yeah.
But he was responding to a foreign kind of influence. In that case, unless we can trace it to a traditional sound.
Yeah. Well, this, I'd have to really get...
You think you can even remember the names, then maybe I can go about finding the people. And, you know...
But would you say there was the early men in the recording musician, you'd say it's Clue J. That is one of the very first musicians as a bass man, Clue J.
What's his background? What he come from? A mentor playing a jazz thing?
He's from a jazz thing, right? Because you have again. Oh gosh. I have a sidekick, you know, in the middle box. You know, if he was here, maybe I could get all the names together. But the very first session we had Clue J and bass. Clue J. I had Johnny Moore.
What he was playing?
Trumpet.
Clue J was bass singer?
Yeah. Ken Williams. Drums. Ken Williams drum. I'm the first one.
That's a trap drum. The trap set.
No, the complete with the
pedal thing
and everything.
Cymbals,
It's complete. Yes, Aubrey Adams piano, right? This other chap named Williams again, you know, I play guitar, but I can't remember his name. Roland. Anderson, so.
Oh, yes. Where he was.
And he's early. He's from the very first session, you know.
Right. Well,
You see, because the thing is, I usually go to the live music session that they had in Jamaica in the early days. So when I thought of this recording thing, I don't have the men in view who would have picked.
But all those people were jazz musicians primarily.
Yes, but in recording, the musician really play what you tell him, your idea.
Well, okay, now this is the other thing I was talking about. Either they improvise out of their own sort of creative thing, or they had a kind of guideline and somebody was saying try this thing and try that.
The guideline come from the person who is responsible for the session.
Which was who, you?
Yeah. Because many a time I would come in on my bass line, which obviously was a line that I've heard from maybe some blues earlier, or a boogie or a shuffle.
Not
thing, you know.
You are not aware of any mental poker things coming in to your when you want variety, you aren't aware of that any little banjo killer thing or
no, we usually aim at a boogie beat. Blues beat. Right. Because in the earlier like recording of rhythm and blues, you have that half beat in there, you know, but it's not so brilliant and strong like in Jamaica, or we would make a guitar.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's yeah.
But like, you always have a half piano beat running along.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you're asking the guy to play, here comes the scale.
Mm-hmm.
And like the word scale, it might sound a bit selfish to say, but we were the first set of people using the scale because this is how we usually instruct the guitarist. Say, listen man, all you do is stick to the scale, play a scale, play a scale. So from you tell him that he knows what to play, you'll be playing on the offbeat.
But where you get the term? I mean,
Yeah, because
that's how it sounds here.
Yeah. And we realized this was the thing that was pushing the blues fans, you know, the dance fans.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah. Right. You write down what all of them doing. I mean, roll on songs and all of that. Without really like that. And this was pure instrumental or any vocal?
The very first session was instrumental.
Pure instrumental, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that we went in and we did a couple vocal with Bonnie and Skitter.
Mm-hmm. Bonnie and Skitter, what they were doing before? What kind of thing they were singing?
No, well, yes, they usually practice with but it's set a drum piece in one time. Come off the drummers come off there, what them again? There. That is it. Very famous man. Mystic? No man. Before Mystic time. Count has it.
Oh, right.
Yes. Well, Count has it. They had a group of men practicing on the hill, you know. And this is where, like, Bonnie and Skitter got most of their rehearsal on the drums.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so they were accustomed to that kind of strong rhythmic background, and they sung to that.
Yeah. So when like we usually plan session, I usually have a place across on a road that I hire on Sundays door, yeah. That we hire on Sundays, and we always rehearse the tune with a piano and use a small tape recorder. Like that. Before we reach the studio, we always rehearse. So, where we are now?
Well, you said the first thing was an instrumental, and the first vocal was with Bonnie and Skitter, and they had their background in the rafter with Count Harvey up the hill and so.
Yeah.
So we're going up the line. This is the first set of people.
Yeah, that's right.
As I said before, these are basically musicians with a jazz background.
Yeah, sure.
Because we hear things about the Coney Island musicians. Have you ever heard that term used?
Yeah.
Right, the mentor kind of musicians who are in the urban situation and playing.
Yes, this is when Buster started producing.
Which was about when?
Yes, something, yes. Mm-hmm. And that's we after started. Yes, long after.
He was about in the 60s?
Yes, about like 64, like that.
Well, he talks of doing Old Carolina somewhere between 61 and 63.
61,
at JBT studio.
Well, that could be right, you know, as for the date, you know.
Mm-hmm. But certainly it was late 50s, 60 that he did his first set of things.
Yeah.
I suppose he's the best person to ask. But can you remember what his first thing was? Where in truth and fact he would have been using mentor musicians. Prior to that, do you know of mentor musicians being used?
Prior to that? No, just for mentor session. For calypso session.
Playing calypso session.
Yeah, not recording, just no, yeah. Performance.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
What can you remember the names of any other mental musicians that started coming into the scat?
Well, yes. Well, this was like John Baker.
Oh, he's supposed to have had some either Bulu or Kumina kind of background, no?
Yes, John Baker.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a tenor sax player that they call Ribs.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, I don't remember.
What kind of environment he found out, besides the fact that it was with a mental band? I mean?
Yes, he usually play at Coney Island also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And where is from that Coney Island? Really, at all times, in the early, I usually use the top musician, right? And as time goes on, we change because we usually use Aubrey Adams till we went on to Monty Alexander.
Oh, yes.
After Monty left, I started with Jackie too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But the musician is not responsible for the sound that you really get. You see, you, the producer, is out there dealing with the public, playing the sound, and actually seeing the sort of sound that they are moving to or going to. So you build a similar sound in your mind, and you kind of hum it when you get into the studio.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, what you're saying basically is a copy of what you had heard coming out of the blues thing. That they were, what part of it they were responding to.
Yes, you see,
but built on that.
Well, that is it. But you see, it was like a complete duplicate. It's just like certain lines, and you create your different lines to go with it to get a complete sound.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to find is about the shuffle from the blues. The music started with the shuffle first. It really started with the shuffle. Mm-hmm. Right? Because we had
what the
like...
shuffle sound like? I mean... It's not, that's the boogie woogie thing,
that's the thing, right? This is where it started. Then, after we realized now they was moving to the half beat, then we started to emphasize on the half beat. And then it was just strictly scale from then on.
Of course you kept the beat.
Yes, moving.
And emphasizing.
Yeah. Then after years of being in the field now, we started to playing around and trying different ideas, and we came up with the Rocksteady.
How did that come from Stella?
Well, it's a slow sound, space, yeah. And the bass line is sort of playing a melody to itself. Yeah, a bass pattern like stuff like that. Yeah, that's it. Because it's when we did this record, Dancing Mood, we realized that the sound was ready to change now. The way the people accepted Dancing Mood.
One of the
first. See? And we were here with the Rocksteady at least a year before anybody really traced the sound and started to put out similar beats, which was Juke.
Let me just recap very quickly. The offbeat thing was still happening. The basic boogie beat had changed to a slower, rock-steady, melodic kind of rhythm.
Yeah, that's it.
And all the other filler instruments were still floating around.
Yeah.
But basically that was on a change between the ska and the rocksteady.
Yes, because when Rocksteady came about, then the horn instrument missing from the local scene for a while, because everybody was just crazy about the rhythm pattern, right, and what the rhythm was saying. So in the scat days, you would have like in the solo part, either trumpet or tenor would be taking that solo, but with the Rocksteady, it's just a steady rhythm flowing without any voice. Then after the break, the voice comes in again.
How would you say the progression from ska, from Rocksteady to reggae came about?
What came about? Well, this...
Just a slowing down of the
Yeah,
whole
slowing down on the whole thing.
But no basic change in rhythm? Because I don't know, I don't understand the team. But a certain team to hear that because feel like a rap you can rhythm under there.
in reggae nowadays.
In reggae?
Yeah.
Well, yes, reggae really is almost rock steady, but with like a continuous moving, playing with that offbeat. Then the other guitar playing a similar sound to coincide with the bass. But it's a plucky pattern, like, I would have to play a record, then maybe you'd understand what I'm dealing with, you see. You see.
Because as I said to you, I'm no musician, and these things are so abstract sounding.
But after the reggae
really
came in now, instead of the second guitar sticking to the melody with the bass, he plays like a running sound between the offbeat.
It's a pretty.
A filling, yes,
yeah.
right along.
Does he stick to one pattern, or he can change?
Yeah, he can change. He can change, you know.
If we talk about the music itself now, earlier on, well, I heard this shuffle rhythm, right? Now, the argument I got was that when the Miami people used to play that and so, would the local people who were done in music would use that same shuffle rhythm, you know, and just add on horns over it, you know, like that was days I say Roland and you know, early ska, right? It probably wasn't called ska yet, right? But the thing was that it was out of this shuffle rhythm and the horns and so on that ska came out, and I'm trying to find out now how this sort of thing got, how it spread and so on, how ska came to be accepted. You know, like I heard that your sound system perhaps is one of the biggest things now.
The sound system was the chief, the main thing to promote the whole thing. Because at that time the radio station used to snap it. You would never figure it was any kind of music. So, like for instance, I have a record and I'm playing at the Gold Coast on a Sunday, right? My DJ knows that I'm releasing a special record tomorrow. He gets on the mic, he plays it, and we have like a group of guys who know the sound and can dance it.
What kind of dance are we doing?
Either mashed potato or the ska, whatever it is.
Well, you know, that's my particular era. I'm just indulging this one on this music trip, and I'm really interested in it. But do you think you can remember any of these guys? They don't have to be professionals. I mean, not any of those guys.
That was responsible for like the ska and things like that. It was a chap by the name of Needle, Baskin, and Adams.
Jasper.
No.
What Adams?
They are dancers. I forget his name.
Jasper Adams is a dancer too, but I mean, not probably the same.
Yeah. Well, this chap is in England now for quite some time. But in the early when I had my stage show at Ward Theatre, they would appear on the show, you know.
Are you in contact with these people still?
Yes, some of them, yeah.
Because, I mean, this is what nobody seems to know what the hell was going on down.
Yes, so you have to get to the roots.
This is it.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure.
Yes.
I mean, I know I used to do my nice little parties, but I really don't know.
Yeah. There's a chap by the name of Baskin.
I've heard of him.
I think
the Baskin Hop was named after him or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I think if you see a chap like that because he has a great memory. You know?
Yeah.
And,
well, can I make that official? Please, I'd really like to meet you. Can you possibly set that up for me?
Yes,
and I'll call you soon and you can tell me.
Yeah, sure.
What's the word? Whenever it's convenient for him, I'll make myself available kind of thing.
All right.
So set it for one afternoon.
Afternoon or in the morning, say after 10. If he prefers to do it earlier, then fine. But yes, afternoon would be ideal. 2ish.
Yeah, I'm still interested in knowing about the sound system. What's that, the competition and so on? What other things you had to do to,
keep on top,
the music, etc., etc.?
Well, the thing that was important in sound system is that you could play songs that your competitor couldn't play. And this is what really urged me to really get into the recording business, because the minute I get in a studio and have a tape, it's for myself alone. And at that time we had like 5 different sets. And each set, sound system set, No, the set that I have is 5 different amplifiers. Like it's a number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 set, right? Well, the first 3 always play on a Saturday night, 2 different places for the night. You play half night, maybe say up Tiverton Road, and half night by Foresters Hall.
When you say half night, you mean during the week, like, or?
No, when you say half night, you mean like from 8 o'clock to 12.
Oh.
Then another song will leave you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
From then to a break. And this was really a good means of spreading the sound around, because if I'm in, like, say, on the eastern section, like, say, Tiverton Road, and we go up there and play a record that is popular, we always announce that it's available for sale,
Same place there.
Same place there. So tomorrow you could always bet that you see a lot of people from the east.
How early you opened up Studio One?
63. 63.
So, who were the other competitors you had in
like
sound system?
We had like Duke Reed.
Duke Reed was before you?
Edwards, yes, it was before me. Edwards and Lord Coos. A great leader there, man.
I mean, people that you recognize are considered genuine competitors. I mean.
Yeah, big names like.
Oh well, yes. Well, it always lie between Reed, Edwards, Lord Coos. We were like the top.
Yourself.
Yeah.
And when Buster came on the scene, I guess he gave us some kind of competition.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, and there it is. You see, because these fellows like dedicated to the music, they just love it, And most musicians couldn't just practice by himself alone. So they always go up in the hills, and just start a jam session and
What about sources like the Virgins or all those other little talent kind of shows? Well, I don't know, Bimman that wouldn't do too much of the song thing so much, but Virgins in particular.
Yes, well, Virgins, yes, because Virgins was where I realized John Holt was good, because of Virgin. And there are quite a few artists that came out of Virgin.
And then certainly after festival started, what about that? I mean...
Well, I've never gotten anybody from
festival. It's more people have left with the experience and entered.
But in my earlier days now, I was with the entertainment field as far as like producing shows. An All Island Championship show is how we discovered the Busters. That was on my show, Blues Busters.
They're long-standing.
Yeah.
What give us about the influence of Siaga had on ska? The influence of Siaga on ska. Can you give me something on that?
I mean, that never really come out. Never see it. No, man.
What do you mean? No, okay.
He just board the wagon.
That is true.
He board the wagon. And this is how we got mad. And right inside of this through the year, we decided and said, well, listen now, gentlemen. Instead of men, I'm sending out people to represent the ska business, and they send out people that don't know nothing about it. Right?
Where Byron Lee really come from? I mean...
Well, Byron Lee, right? In the days when Byron Lee usually play jump up music and Byron Lee used to pass inside Federal Record and hear we playing, he used to skin up his face and frown at it because he figured it was all garbage.
Yes, I know.
Right? Then it's after now. Yes, between him and Corey is there pressing the record and realizing that there's money in it. But even being a studio owner doesn't make you being able to make a good song or a good record.
Corey is in charge of the federal.
Yes, yeah. Right. So when Corey realized now that this thing was going big and Blackwell had left from Jamaica and based in England, he was then releasing a couple of records for me, also Shallots. So when Corey realized now that this thing was going places now, we called him Byron. I said, let's get on the bandwagon. And this is where they started. Right?
Well, and as far as you're concerned, about Siaga, how does he figure in?
Oh, he figured when the very first time I heard him, right, was the time when he realized now this thing was going and decided to send people to New York. But he never have a clue about it. He wasn't interested. He never realized it would go anywhere. Because he made one record, and that one record you can classify it reggae, scare or noise, one named Money Ho, that he did with the Higgs and Wilson. Right? And he came in the record business and was depending on me to give him information of what records to release. But then I would work alongside with him. He went to Buster and figured Buster knew. But yes, but Buster now didn't get the record before my mother and me scratch it out. This was it. Is it? No. Why took it like that? No.
Because it's so simple and it's so effective, you know? I mean, just scratch it out. They just don't know.
They just don't know. You see? And I mean, the only way you could get around guessing, you'd have to be involved in the thing for a long while. Then you know the voice, like you said, that sound like King Perry, you know, things like that. Yeah.
Well, okay, since we're on the Saga topic, now this is dance-wise, it's a very key breaking off point because ska as a dance, which is a kind of pucker quality thing. Yeah. Was that something that Siaga choreographed with Nazral and Andrade, the child Andrade, or was that something you saw people do? Because I'd like to get on to people like Gaskin and stuff.
Yes, we started doing that first. But it wasn't like the way they started doing it. I mean...
I've seen Cedric Brooks, for example, doing it, and then that kind of thing, something like that. I kind of loose stuff.
Yes. Well, what I think is that it wasn't altogether the way Siaga put it together. And this is why the whole thing flopped, because when they went abroad, there wasn't really dancing anything new to the American. It was more like an American dance. Away from maybe the extra dip and the moving of the hand.
Very neatly steps to the side, like Polygolly.
Yeah,
Polygolly was it.
Ah, yes, smart, very smart. Yeah.
Right, and all I did was put that to it.
To it, yeah.
This is why I have never been convinced about Siaga ska, and I want to see what people were doing then. Because to me it is so choreographed. I could have easily choreographed that myself. And I really want to see if he was drawing right out of the sources.
No, it's Nazrala he went to and they farmed them sort of thing and went away. It didn't get to the roots because you know how come I one day the rehearsing, right? And I was to go down there, men about 3 guys and lie on the floor so as to get them to send one of the guys that who were involved in the music business from a long time. And this chap named... Hey, what is it there? I was going to ask scream to get Castro gone and the group with them because we felt more or less Castro was everywhere. It was a like Foresters Hall, Neutral, Gold Coast, and this is where all these things created and started from.
So he knew about the dancing to Castro?
Yes, he knew about the dancing, but he had was to just go with what they had lined up.
I see. Is
So it
Castro
never-
still around?
No, he's in New York now.
In New York?
Yes, he's in New York.
So just people like that around, people that kind of broad overview as far as possible.
And I always said, I like to talk to him because he's involved too, because he's always been with me for years and, so he knows everything about him.
Monday I'll try and come back.
Yeah. Well, I set up basking for Monday, but what time?
As I said, 2 should be fine.
2?
Well, listen, can I come and see you on Monday too?
That's all. Neutral, Gold Coast, and this is where all these things created and started from.
So he knew about the dancing to Castro?
Yes, he knew about the dancing, but he had was to just go with what they had lined up.
I see. Is
So it
Castro
never-
still around?
No, he's in New York now.
In New York?
Yes, he's in New York.
So just people like that around, people that kind of broad overview as far as possible.
And I always said, I like to talk to him because he's involved too, because he's always been with me for years and, so he knows everything about him.
Monday I'll try and come back.
Yeah. Well, I set up basking for Monday, but what time?
As I said, 2 should be fine.
2?
Well, listen, can I come and see you on Monday too?
Oh, it's fine, yeah.
Would your assistant or whatever you call him, would he be around?
Yes.
What's a good time to go?
Clement Dodd, Coxson, August 25th, 1975. Can't tell you, these things happen. Alright, just starting off, can you give me a name?
Yeah.
And, well, as I said, date of birth and your occupation.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Name, Clement Dodd. Date of birth, 26th of January 1932.
Occupation.
Record manufacturer, record producer.
Promoter.
Promoter.
Right, alright. Incidentally, how did you get this name Coxson?
This was from the early days of playing cricket.
Oh.
And on my side we usually use names of English cricketers. And at that time I was playing for a side locally termed as Yorkshire. And within that time there was an English player who was very popular, good all around, by the name of Coxson.
I see. And I've seen various spellings. Is C-O-X-S-O-N?
Well, the right spelling is C-O-X-O-N.
Right.
But we find ourselves going with C-O-X-S-O-N, Coxson.
Yes, that's what I've seen more
And the
recently.
label is Coxson. But really, within the time when you call it Coxson.
Right. Alright, well, the obvious follow-up to this is, I mean, how you really started into this whole thing.
Well, I'm a great lover of music, and in the early days I visit US, and within that time I purchased a lot of rhythm and blues recording and good danceable jazz. So on my return to Jamaica, I built myself an amplifier. No, I got an amplifier built and got into the sound system, which was really popular then because you had men like Duke Reed, the great Sebastian Storm, Count Nick, Skyrocket, and a few more.
No, some dates on this so I can get it all in perspective. When you went away, what thought reason? Was just a trip?
Yeah, this was just really a trip.
So what, made you think that, boy, it's a good investment to buy up a whole other record and take them back?
Yes, because at that time I usually follow a sound by the name of Roy White. which was along Beeson Street and where is the lane before James Street?
Romney.
Romney?
Think so, no?
Yes, Beeson
Street.
Street.
Yes.
It's Romney or Maiden Lane?
It's Maiden
Maiden Lane. Beeson Street.
Yeah,
and
Maiden
Lane.
Lane.
Yeah. And at that time there was a lot of blues that the farm workers that usually travel came back with these recordings like Wyoming Norris, Shirley and Lee, and King Perry, Louis Jordan, Lester Williams, and quite a few rhythm and blues artists.
And this was roughly around what time? No?
This was like 1951, 52, 51.
Oh, 51.
Yeah.
And you went away just around that time?
That time. So I started collecting records. And out of it I even was the first one to produce Tab Smith, My Mother's Eye. But
And this was when?
this was like 51, and I loaned this record to Duke Reed because he was the big name then, and I liked this record so much that I figured I alone playing it would be fair, to get more exposure on the record. So he liked it that much that he took it as his team. Well, in the earlier days, I usually select recording or tunes suited to be played for Duke. It's like that.
It's alright, it's okay, let's go.
Took really come along after all of the song.
Yeah, I was just saying that there are a lot of little other background things that I wanted to find out about you as a person. In other words, what really was happening to you in your earlier life.
Right.
Well, okay, let's put it this way. Where are you from originally? You're born in Kingston?
Born in Kingston.
Your parents were originally from Kingston too, or they?
No, they are from Portland.
Portland. Alright, let me see now. And of course, this whole theory about traditional sources. But I think Portland is Jankuno area. Used to go on there. Mental things very strong there too. Were you aware of any of these things that they?
Let's put it this way, we don't really want to get away from it because the thing is, the thing that started moving me is like recordings from the early stage and Louis Jordan and all this. It was like American influence. We didn't
But as long as you grew up in the
English,
city,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Well, like whatever thing that might come out of me that I'm not aware of, well, this is a thing that, But we figure more or less, take for instance now, I can definitely tell you with the scare now, when we started the scare, we just tried that thing and it worked. Like, if you listen to a lot of the early instrumental scare, it's jazz inclined.
It's very close to your boogie woogie thing.
No, well, we started half with just the plain shuffle and boogie woogie. Then we developed right into in graph jazz and how the men feel it. You see? But we could only say like the calypso part of it came long later on. Like after I started, you have someone just figure every musician is a musician, and you went inside and like I told you when Buster came in, you got some cheap musician, right? And they brought a sound. And
when was this and who were these people that were involved? Approximately anyway.
Yeah, well, this was outlaw. This was sometime.
It was 60.
But you could bridge this by finding out the time when Prince Buster started, because he brought in guys like Chum Baker, Ribs, and there's Coney Island man where really nobody rate, you understand? Then after he brought in that sort of sound, and one came out successful.
Which one was this?
Which one?
I think his top tune was Mighty Rose.
No man, Mighty Rose come long after man. That is when
Oh,
Dan
Dumpy.
Drummond- Humpy Dumpy and
Wash.
no Wash is later on.
He produced Oh Carolina.
Okay, yes. We did.
I was just reading an article recently, something about Michael Black. Is Michael something like that?
Yes.
He
That's the
sang
name
on
of the
it?
guy. No, he didn't sing on it.
Mr. Blanco.
No man.
No, it's not
No.
Blanco.
So what the brother's name?
Folks,
Folks brother.
yes.
Yes, Folks brother.
What they did?
Well, he had a session that day. We promoted the session for Joe, and these guys turn up, and it happened that he started a hit, just like that.
So what did the Folks Brothers actually do on the record?
They sing,
They sing on the
right?
record,
Yes,
okay.
but like our drum people, remember them? Cold has it, the main backing
right.
and that.
He mentioned Owen Gray was playing piano.
It's
I think
quite-
I'm
it's
saying
quite
Owen Gray
possible.
never played piano.
Yeah.
But we hear like a song coming through. Anyway, first of all, you said you started in the business roughly 51. That's your kind of landmark. You went away,
yeah.
and you're very interested in what this man Roy White was doing, and you.
Yeah, right.
Well, you
right,
like
and
that sort of
yes, yes.
stimulated you.
Yes, because it was something new to us, because we knew of like Percombe and them
This is
earlier
it.
soft stuff. But it's because of the farm workers who went away in the south
Mm-hmm.
and came back with all these rhythm and blues, and then when you play it, man, it sounds real danceable and jumpy.
So what? Roy White was one of the farm workers, or
No.
what was his contact with them then? How he got onto this music?
Well, for a very long time, it's one of the sound, the first sound, he along with Nick and Goodies. Remember to mention Goodies from Maxwell Avenue, because he's like among the first three.
Is he alive still?
No, maybe. You know, that is in Prince Street. Because this is so way back, and most of these men at that time was like
Was that in the 40s?
50,
Was that
you
in the
know.
40s that this was first started up and at all?
No, that could be about 50. Then when
Oh, I
The
see.
farm
This was
workers
really a
came
new
back.
sound to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I mean, by 51 it was
Yes,
just
really a
about
new
a year
sound.
old or so
Right.
that you're hearing.
So we came back and we started playing all these records. So within like a year and a half, 2 years, the rock and roll came in. So the rock and roll didn't go over strongly down here. Everybody just loved the rhythm and blues or the good dance of the jazz. Right? After we searched for like say another year and a half after that, we couldn't get nothing else because rhythm and blues was like out at that time. They was promoting this rock and roll.
Well, in the northern part of America anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So not able to get any more rhythm and blues, we decided to make danceable sound that we figured would go.
Produce your own.
Right?
Can you play an instrument?
No,
No, you have a song. I mean,
no, I can't hum a little.
no. But I just wondered if you had any kind of yourself, any musical background that might have influenced you also.
To be frank, I figure I know a good sound.
You just have a
but
keen ear.
Yes, that's it. And like humming, I have a memory of a good melody line and good like that.
Right. Well, I guess since I have your date of birth, it's sort of silly to ask, but really, as I've said before, you started quite young
Yes.
into
really.
this business.
Love, just hold on another 15-20 minutes now. I can't break this. Here, round front, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in your teens, probably.
Yeah, yes. Should be like 18, yeah.
When you
that's right,
start.
yeah.
I want to cause a bad but the tape is on. Anyway, yes. Going through. Can you remember, we talked about this, the Coney Island people, and you mentioned only two names.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. The names just floating. They were right on the tip of my tongue. You mentioned two names just now.
Jamaica.
Yes, Jamaica
And this chap
Ribs.
Ribs.
Yeah.
Ribs used to play what?
Saxophone.
The saxophone.
Yeah.
And he was out of a mentor thing? Or because we hear about mentor and burro. Burro drummers.
Burro, what I would term.
Those guys who play like
Jamaica.
down the lane at night time, they get together and
And they playing Corn
yeah,
Island too.
and wasn't a really outstanding band.
Take for instance, Baba Brooks.
Yeah.
Corn Island.
What? Barbara says piano?
No, it was trumpet, but he
Oh,
was
I
trumpet
think
Corn
it
Island
was.
days, yeah.
I see. And
But all these people came in later on, because you remember I give you a bunch of names? Them names really
these
stick.
people,
Yes.
2J and Johnny Moore, the
Johnny
first
Moore,
session,
yeah.
and Ken Williams, Aubrey Adams,
Yes.
Ronald Alphonse, and you couldn't remember the name of the guitarist.
and I've been trying to
You
hold-
say you think his last name was Williams.
Yes, but just
Okay,
can't
but you
come
couldn't
up with
remember
that
the first
again.
name.
We get back, we find sometime.
We'll try to find out this idea.
And as it stands here, just about all the people had a jazz background and that
Yes,
first session,
yeah.
kind of instruments they were playing. I am particularly interested in the Coney Island thing because I am really sort of oblivious that it was even it's the usual Ferris wheel.
Coney Island
Yes.
men. Yeah, well,
No,
those-
I mean the whole
that's it.
Coney Island thing itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that what it was?
Musician playing the said song and then get a bunch of Coney Island musicians to play the said song. There's a difference. There's a difference.
And the quality and the instruments are playing too.
Yes, and the way they play. So I don't see it as fair to say, well, this thing started from like the Coney Island people or the Papa people and things like that. It's because along the way it
may not
branched off because when like the metals came on the scene.
When did they come on the scene?
They came on the scene maybe about 2 years after we get started because
It was about 53, 54.
and they came with a brand new sound. It was like a spiritual sound
I've got a very poker feeling to it.
and then
Very
we
much so,
try to put a danceable rhythm, so when it finished now I don't know what you can call that.
Yes. When you say you try to put a dance or rhythm, you aren't relying on the same
No,
ska
you see-
bass you started off with.
Yeah, well, somehow you try with the ska bases, but each rhythm you try to make it sound a bit different so that the whole thing not monotonous, If you use this bass line in the record before the next one coming up, you try to change it around so that when you play them one after the other, there is some difference.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you are responding to the way that Toots and the Metals were singing.
Singing.
To develop rhythm.
Yes,
Now
yes.
this is why it's so important to
Yes,
get into the
because
heads and the background of people, because this is when you start to draw out all the things that you're not even aware of for variety.
Yes, because just like when the metal is singing, you get a different feel. You have different imagination, the background to go to fit the song because it have a more lively beat, and then you want to have it that jumpy rhythm. It's quite different.
You used to sing in poker, you used to sit in the poker, well in Kingston there's whole them, sessions around town, the clap hand.
Yes, really, yes, I saw a few, but like that we use our spiritual bag for that, like the poker thing is because we do a lot of spiritual recording, which you call the revival thing, right? We did that separate.
Was this before Toots, after Toots? While Toots was there? Or
During, before even Touch too, because we did a thing called Time to Pray. Yeah, that Time to Pray.
Yeah, it's a very early song.
Yes, and we did some other little spiritual thing with it.
Who sang Time to Pray?
Miller Lark.
Miller Larks.
Yes.
All of them was really early. An early vocalist was Bunny and Skitter, right? They did things like Crying Over You, and She Gunman from Staggerville and things like that.
Sims and Robinson.
Yes, Sims and Robinson.
Easy Snapping.
Yeah, Theophilus Beckford. Yeah. So he did his first recording was Easy Snapping, and just after it, his follow-up was Tell Me Little Lady.
Yeah,
well, we can tell you that no, all
them
days no. The only one person that did have a session was Hugh Creed.
Oh.
Yes. See, both of us started and when it looked like a business now, everybody realized, well, when they come in and get a piece of the action. Right?
Oh, we start long time before Joe.
Yeah, correct.
With the producing of,
Yeah.
of the local
Producing,
sound.
yeah.
When did Duke Reed get on, get into it?
I would say like a good year and a half after I did. Because it took some time to really realize what's
That
happening.
people
and that
were
it was-
liking the sound.
What kind of equipment did you have at that time? 2-track, 4-track?
Well, one
track.
yeah.
So everything was done one
One
go.
time, yeah.
No mixing.
But you see, and things like that now, you the producer work closely with the engineer,
Yeah.
you see, because at that time it started, chorus started for about the first year, then it was getting out time reaching and bringing good art.
Yeah.
Kind of couldn't scope with it.
Yeah. Even this cat from JDC, Desmond.
Yes, Desmond, yeah.
What he used to do?
He used to be an engineer.
Oh, I see.
At Federal.
Yeah.
Federal started up in that case when then?
Federal, no, you would have to get from them that information, but they really started from down King Street and Beeson Street.
So what kind of
And-
records were they producing then?
No,
I mean,
that
what
was
is
foreign. That was just manufacturing.
That was gramophone.
No, that was manufacturing side.
the manufacturing side? I
Yes,
see.
but when
they
they
went-
moved to Bell Road, no, they had a little studio.
And this was approximately when?
This was after you.
No, was like let's say about 50.
About 50.
50,
But who
yeah.
were they catering to? I mean, what?
Calypso, heavy calypso. I didn't know nothing else but calypso. Just
I wonder
calypso.
lots of Jamaicans feel like Calypso is indigenous.
You see, it's calypso.
really,
they,
you know.
they used to move with,
Yeah.
and what else? Just straight calypso.
Yeah, that's for Calypso.
Then Blackwell came in with this little tango soft thing, like, which wasn't too bad. But the hard
And
blues
merengue.
rap,
Merengue was popular in the
merengue,
early-
yes, yeah, but we don't really make it merengue much.
You mentioned that you used to go up to the hills to get some of your talent there, and I
Yes,
asked you
yes.
about Vera Johnson and stuff.
Yeah.
About how early you started going up to the hills.
It
You
should
say
be
your first
about,
vocalist was Skitter, Bonnie and Skitter, and you say you found them up in the hills.
No,
right?
well, listen, we didn't find them up there. They find us because
True Count as a
True Count as and then the music started to really get around. So they turned up and said, well, we can sing. So after really recording 1 or 2 songs with them, and we realized where the bass and got their idea from.
I wouldn't say Count as a neither, I would say like Johnny and Guinea, as they come after.
They join with us, they get their practice, the rehearsal up by Count Hazy.
Yeah.
That don't mean so we'll be brought in Hazy yet, Hazy was long after that still.
Oh, we know them
Who
for
is Guinea? Who is this man?
Little
Guinea?
G.
No, not Little G. Guinea, what a big Guinea name again? Winston Guinea, and then his brother, Bobby Guinea.
Bobby Guinea.
He's now in Canada. He left early. Yeah. He was involved in the thing.
And guys like Rico used to come out the same.
But on the East, that was our rehearsal base for quite a few of the musicians, like Dan Drummond, as the really that messed up.
Did anybody else, who besides, where you have mentioned Dan Drummond, you have mentioned Bonnie and Skitter, and you said even Roland and Fonz, you see what we're to? What other musicians? Names you can think of. Well, even all these jazz musicians that were in the first session.
Yeah.
What about Clue J? You ever reach up there?
Yes, because in them days it's like a place. Like if you don't really reach, you're not.
That
really,
was a
you're not really. You see.
I see what you're saying. All right.
So some of the people just pass through once or twice,
To see what it's like. It's a hot spot.
Yes, and like go on display and show the man and say you have something to you.
Counters was a respected man among the musicians in there.
Yes, I'd say that. Up to now.
And at that time, to the jazz musicians would respect him as a
competent musician, a man.
Yes,
who knew his.
At that time, you said that group of people. Who would be the sort of leader? Was it?
Yes, because this was his premises, where he stayed, and everybody used the back of it. Right? So it was like a freedom land, like every day. The usually used to go around until they have enough to start their little session and then start playing and just eat and drink.
Well, I was going to ask Alan, but let me ask this first. When did Alan join you?
57. 57, 58.
So? And well,
but you used to pass through earlier, but you never joined us officially. We couldn't employ nobody at that time.
No, 57. I think I was to go with the song.
Or you used to take out part of it and go to like a spot and play it.
That's from Beeson Street.
What about Prince Buster? He started with you earlier than that and left by then.
No man, Prince don't start before you.
Yeah, Prince leave about 58.
Yeah. And started on his own.
Yeah, but like coincides more or less with what he
when
said.
I came on the scene, Prince was about to leave because Prince is the one of the guys that really get me interested in the music, I used to follow up the sound of the Sonys and things like that. And Prince was such a loudmouth guy, and would sit down and tell a lot of things and convince in certain points. You can't really see it's true.
No, he still is. He's when you listen to him, you believe his gospel being spoken. He had some people have that kind of personality.
That's right. And after I joined the thing, a little after he left, That's about 58, 59 he left.
Right.
Yeah, around that time because
okay now.
First local record is about 57, 58,
First local record?
Yeah.
What was the first local record, you remember?
No, I would have called a couple of names, like, or get back to like saying,
Shuffling Joe, there was one inside me.
Yeah,
Pine Juice.
Pine Juice. And Cane Juice. Little Willie, yes, that was early.
And another musician who was very early too was like Cecil Lyde, Albert Adams.
Well, he was in the first session.
Yeah.
The first session you had. Okay, you started your sound system thing in 51.
Yeah.
When, I think I asked you, when did you go into the production? You said about 2 years after the rock and roll thing came in?
Yeah.
So you're talking about producing your first record, say 53, 54. Why were you suggesting 57 as late as 57? What is it you remember about 57, 58? What particular kind of sounds you felt they were coming out then?
I can't remember, I remember that time I really certain record at that time,
What? But this is what I'm
I
saying.
was pretty young still,
Yeah, well, that makes sense. All these young people who started, you see. We talked about Siaga's role in this whole scat thing and when he jumped on and what have you. Now, Tommy McCook and Scatterlight. How would you put them into this whole picture?
Well,
First of all, when did they come on the scene?
This was
Time
long
wise.
after now, when the scene was bubbling enough that Tommy could be in like Nassau here and that nation making record out here, so we can make a running from that and it came out.
About what time was this? 60s?
That's about 63, 263.
63. I mean, Prince Buster was around, he was producing his thing.
Before Tommy,
Yes, long before. So we had already had Rasta influence very strong in there. Jazz mentor musicians had started coming into.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So Tom Moko comes on the scene now. What happened? How come?
Well,
because you have to admit,
you
he
see,
was a
when-
popular.
yes,
People think
yes,
of
yes.
ska and Tommy Moko and the Scatterlights. It's sort
When
of
Tommy
synonymous.
came in on the scene now, we decided and made our second jazz album. We had one before which was called I Cover the Waterfront. This was done with Cecil Lloyd and Roland Alfonso and Clue J and Carl McLeod and drum,
Yeah.
right? That's our first jazz
What
album.
about Johnny Moore wasn't in on this
Yeah.
session?
No, Johnny was not in on that first jazz session. No, Johnny came in on the second one. No, jazz from the
Johnny
workshop.
Get naughty. She can get naughty at that time and get naughty.
Yes, it was mad like that.
Right. All them
Yeah, used
hard
to.
boys anyway, going through.
Yeah. And the funniest thing, this guy usually wear bag and get on like him mad, after we experience this guy sober
Yeah,
and
you saw a
campaign.
little thing
I
that's
see
wrong.
one day, and I look at him and I said, Johnny, you really not mad, You know what you want to do, Johnny? Go home and take a wash and cut your hair and come back and give you a trumpet. And would you believe me, 5 days after that, Johnny cut him here and come back and give me a trumpet, put him in the studio and work some good money that first week, and from then
Him just clean
sober
up
up
himself.
again. But I had to tell somebody, say, well, no man, you're not mad, you just let go, you let go, that's all, and you only put pepper soup for your drink, that makes sense, and and then he just go home and clean up himself and come right up back, trumpet, Like Dan Drummond, the first time I met Dan Drummond, like close, I've seen him on stage, a dance and so forth. First time I saw him, he came to me as a vocalist, and not even like singing, he was humming some stupidness and claimed that he can make all kind of sound. Just go home and clean up himself and come right up back, trumpet. Like Dan Drummond, the first time I met Dan Drummond, like close, I've seen him on stage, a dance and so forth. First time I saw him, he came to me as a vocalist, and not even like singing, he was humming some stupidness and claimed that he can make all kind of sound. So
Like
looking at,
sound
yes,
and
things like
yes.
that. Well, sure, yeah. And I said to him, but listen, you the same Dan Drummond where you play the trombone? He said, yeah. And I feel so happy that time. I said, but listen, man, you must not play that. He said, yes, but you have an instrument. And at that time, I had a friend who had a trombone, was living up here. When it was like home. I came up here, borrowed the trombone from the chap, and make Dan Drummond play. After I realized he could play, I bought him a trombone. Everything went well with that silly thing. We went back to the asylum, and his return now was hard to handle, and everybody was rushing him from outside, so then I couldn't really have a good straight thing going with him, so I went with the system since he was playing with everybody. I still use him. But the whole recording business, it depends on you, the producer, knowing what you want and what you're producing, because we experienced that we are 3 producers here, and we are using the same musician, and we can go in the studio for 2 hours, and then you play my stuff, play your stuff, and play your stuff. It's 3 different things. So,
because you keep saying I want this and I want that, and
and you know just what you want,
Right.
So,
Anyway, a little more on Tommy. What you think was responsible for his and his group's success?
well, yes.
Because you had
what-
some good
yes,
jazz musicians as a
yes,
group before.
Yes, what really happened now, when Tommy farm now, is out and in the studio here, when we realized that Mr. Siago was promoting his thing and used a different set of people, and we realized Byron Lee was getting in on it. We said, no, guys like we were sweat together, should make this thing happen. Farm himself into a group and then really appear public out there. And
Project.
yeah, that's it. So the main person that was using these guys was between me and Joe Creed. And we use the same musician from time to time that they had a sound now.
They
right?
work together and
Yeah,
they
yes,
produce a special
a
kind
special sound, and they knew one another. So you see, when you find different musicians, it takes time for them to really used to one another and knowing what next. Well, we decided and said, well, all right, farm yourself into a band, and so as to make certain you hit it. Call yourself the Scatterlights. Right?
That's fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how it went, is that I would have thrown a amplifier and two microphone, and you could help them with whatever instrument you could find, and so it started.
Just what triggered this question is something you said about Myrna's album, that you have a lot of faith in it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that in itself was responsible for some artists making it and not making it, Which ones can you remember particularly that you liked, from the first session off or whatever, that you really took an active interest in promoting and...
You say which one? You mean artist or...
Singer, musician, whatever.
Yes. Well, listen. Somehow, take for instance, most of the producers usually seek and find out what musician we are using and whatever we are doing, and try to use the same set of people. Right? Now, take for instance like an artist. I think somehow after hearing an artist with 4 or 5 songs, I can know whether he's suitable for the commercial market or whether it could go. Then when it comes to like getting an artist, I had the idea that it take a little time to swing the artist, for the artist to swing. So it need a contract. Right? And when I say contract, that the person is bound to bound to sing for you for a period of time.
That's it.
Because to get the artist off the ground, you have to throw in some money. Because take for instance now, like Ken Bood. Ken Bood was with us and we figured like Ken Bood is great. Then we record like say the first 6, 7, 8 songs, nothing really happened. But with our crowd, right, they fancy Ken Bood, but that wasn't enough to make the man a hit.
Right. Radio stations have to start playing it and plugging it.
For it to get around.
Yeah.
So we are there, we're recording the man. Number 2, the average artist, from him start singing, don't give him a straw, I'm not going to lift it. Right, you just want to sing. So you, the producer now, to encourage him or to get a thing going, have to set up a thing like a weekly laundry money sort of thing, take care of him laundry and so forth. And you keep that going until, say, he has a hit. Or not even a hit. Let's go.
You were here and they just came on?
Yeah, that's about 63 this time.
What were the first songs? You remember the first song you did with them?
I think the first song was song like... At that time Bob wasn't the leader.
Who that?
Who was
Real
Tosh? Who was leader?
No man, this guy listen to guy named Livingston.
Livingston.
Oh,
Yes, he
Bonnie.
led in Urge to Be Alone and songs like that.
Bonnie.
No
No,
man,
not Bonnie, he's
not
away.
Bonnie.
He's
This
away.
little guy, he was Wilson brother.
Yeah.
Wilson brother. He lead about the first 4 songs because at that time Bob wasn't ready yet. And it's after now this chap left, we decided to work and train Bob. And we working with him nice, man. We have some rockers here for the public. Some like nights of 3 hours rehearsing a song and ideas. Is why I playing back the song that I even find out some of the tape track that my wife was there telling him how I figure I'm going to really get around to the song because he was not a vocalist that really had any range. Up to now he has got no range, you know, he makes his song around a certain range, the man's it. But like to sing out and hit the high note is not there.
so you had to tailor it for his voice. In other words,
yeah.
Right. In our last interview to you, you talked about, in a sense, before the scatting really hit off and you got involved in that whole promotion and production of ska music. You should talk about going around and promoting these not variety shows and competitions and all that.
Yes, we did a lot of that.
When was this happening, date-wise? And for how long?
And that was from 61, 62, come right up.
Yes.
Come right up to who? To where?
To be up in the 60s.
Yes, man. Till them guys they were our brother said, say come. You know, we really leave sound system one night because I said, let me tell you. In our days now, you couldn't be really on the top or up, so know what's happening. You have to get right in the ghetto.
But of course.
And even down there, sometimes you go down there, you make a record and you just think it hard now. Boy, you like feel up there, really tell you how you like
Yeah,
it
I
and
used to
whatever it
record
is.
on the sound
And
system.
out of that, you could know how to produce.
This is it, yeah, the pulse of the people.
Right. And one night was down there, you know, because we had a way, you know. You don't go home to suffer and like dance Saturday night, you know, I'm just want to send them broke and buy want a new frock, you know. And help them out and buy the gears, you know, for all 3-4 of them because you know when the birds are, that's where you find the boy, you know. So we usually get around. But this night, the first night politics mess up the scene. We're not talking on the go inside, you know, we're talking shoot as it. That 4 guy come here and say them 21 strong.
Yeah,
when this guy was get killed early, name?
Zaki wasn't there, but Bado was there, Donovan,
Yeah.
and 2 other guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
But I have a guy
Yes,
who's
he
a
was
witness
henchman,
today, you know.
Zaki
henchman.
Forbes.
No,
Man, it's a bad guy, man.
he died.
They came inside the dance hall and just said, well, from tonight, no sound, no rule. It's politics a rule.
He's 21.
He's 21 strong and then take out them big gun at time. And the first we see gun out of the movie, you know. All the rest of the time is in the
What
movie we
date
see
was
gun. We
this
never
one?
see no real gun.
It was 1966. There was a holiday. It was a holiday. Easter
Easter
morning.
time.
Yeah. There's a fella right now in living now is a witness because one of the guys
Well,
who
people can
came
think
out,
about that.
who came with the gang, right? Go inside the bar, take out a box of beer, and hold this guy because this guy was a friend and didn't want to join with them. And hold him here, son, like he take out the beer back and bust everything in his face.
Yeah. But
This guy's alive now.
Where this happened?
at first, it's not.
Yeah.
Right?
Where is that?
That is
North Street.
North Street between King and Lovely.
Yeah.
King Street and Lovely. Right. Them was the main like head office for music, you know. If you haven't been like first as that, you don't really know what's happening.
So you pulled out of the sound system after that?
Well, I had to back out slowly because then after that I was playing along Spanish Town Road Because we usually play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And all pay nights, but the way we arrange it and the music was in demand, right? It's like on Monday nights we would be in the west side like a place named Carnival. Right? And we play at Carnival on Mondays.
Pioneer.
And Pioneer on Mondays. That Pioneer was in Jonestown. And Sunday, well, one Sunday night I was playing along Spanish Town Road by Kid Lane.
Yeah, my
Corn Prof, right?
Yeah.
And some decided and the policemen came in and run the people, and some of our backs get mashed up and people there said it was the police, but when I went to the higher up in the force, they said, well, they don't believe the police going to do that because they don't have no authority to do that. So well, I had to story with them. So from then I realized I had to back out.
So when you made the final pull?
The final pull? About when you back out?
Back out about
That was long after that, because things get so bad.
Yeah. It's a good time.
About, let me guess, 68?
69. 69.
It was definitely before the 70s.
You know when it was? Just a little bit before Labour got in power.
Yeah, 69.
The first, he had this referendum business, and then just after that,
67, 68.
Yeah, because it's 62 they first got in, and they ran a double term, so must be the end. It's a five
well, yeah,
term,
if it's
right?
62, you can have that down as about 61 we ease out, because
67.
Yes. The first term was what?
The first time was 62, that
63.
was the first government elected after independence. Not the Labour people.
Yeah.
Right? They ran 2 terms.
62.
That was 62. They ran 2 terms. So
Yeah.
first,
Referendum was 67.
right. That's the beginning of the second term.
Yeah.
So it's after,
It's after, it's about 68 or backward or so.
yeah, about
Well, this is
68,
what I was
yeah.
68.
guessing. Roughly. Which Adams is this? Jasper Adams or another Adams?
He's in London now.
Right.
And we have another one named Blabber.
Yes, but Blabber wasn't really a teamwork man or a stage man. It was
And
like
another
a party
tall,
man.
clear skin chap.
Yes, that's Junior. I mean
Junior.
Junior. And all them guys.
What kind of dancing they were doing?
It's like Ole Gully.
The American kind of dance.
That's when it just started out.
No, we used to have a record at that time by the name of Ole Gully by Owen Gray.
No,
That's
well,
all.
that is when the Ole Gully come on. But you
That's
see,
when Ole Gully come
in the early, we usually dance the regular boogie-woogie stuff. You see, but still, I don't think it's the same. But we are heavily influenced by the Americans. If we even take a part of the move and we do it off the Jamaican way. But if you check it out, a portion of it come from it, because the only thing I think was our thing was the Yank.
The Yank was an American dance. Yeah.
Well, that's
Ole Gully, I think, was original by Jamaica.
No, Ole Gully was an American thing too.
Yes, no.
We're just, if you had come that day, we were recreating the Holy Gully. It's something kind of like the Madison. Do you have partner? You're gonna clap and you change and you go around.
Yeah, but before the Holy Gully was mashing, you know.
There's mashed potato.
Mashed potato. Yeah, but before the Holy Gully was mashing, you know.
There's mashed potato.
Mashed potato.
I remember I used to do that too. This is what was different, and we went through that there was jitterbug and the bebop, which is maybe a kind of faster. Bebop is a little slower. Then the rock and roll kind of turn your partner, you do your little legsy thing in the middle and turn. Now legs, this is a big controversy. How? But it was local or foreign. Because the junk on the man do a leg thing, the coming on man, if you the dances and do a kind of quick thing on them foot.
Well, this is it, because even before the Holy Gully, it was dancing a kind of way, which was not American. It was just our feelings that were just dance like a pom-pom. We used to throw kerchief and shuffle and do all sort of things.
Who used to do that then? Because maybe I can, if you can talk to us, we can find out where them was.
No, well, a good guy for that was a guy named Pom Pom.
And Beryl.
You know how to contact me?
Charlie Duckett was.
Duckett, yes, was an early man again.
Yeah.
Most of these things out of the country now. It's just Pom Pom is around, but he's on the east. Nobody knows. And he dance every Friday night on a club.
Who used to do that then?
No, well, a good guy for that was a guy named Pom Pom.
And Beryl.
You know how to contact me?
Charlie Duckett was.
He's around, but he's on the east. Dance every Friday night on a club up by what is club on Guncourt Street now?
Down.
Even the one at the club may be able to name and dress, you know.
Yes, they say his name is Pom Pom.
Pom Pom.
Yeah.
Were you ever aware of seeing people
dancing?
Well, I know a certain
section of Jamaica was dancing to the pericombers and the waltz and the foxtrot and the whatnot.
But
so really quite far back we started importing the music and dance.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly
Before any of these dances
you're talking about.
Yes. But the thing is, the blues in Jamaica just after birth. At that time, this was about the time when the man who was a strong influence on Jamaica is Louis Jordan. Up to now, see? Benson has a Louis Jordan. Yeah. And there's no current LP can sell it like that.
Is that?
Yeah. It's still selling. Keep on selling. People is looking out for his whole recording.
Yeah.
Because it was a time when he was on Brunswick, but he was on another label before Brunswick died.
But that's
And when you match the version and the original together, there's a big difference. The original is way ahead of it.
Oh, really? I mean,
Yeah.
in what sense? You know?
Musical,
Do you think what's happening now is a simpler kind of thing versus what used to happen then?
Yes, because this might.
Old times Ska records and
yes, because
why do you think this is?
Yes, because but in the earlier days we usually stick to more uniform sound coordination. We usually write out whatever music we are going to play in the studio. I remember I told you I usually hire a place for rehearsal before getting in the studio.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Right?
Who used to write out the music? It was come out of your head and your
Yes, well, people like Roland Alfonso, well, Jazzman, the name.
Dan Drummond,
No,
Cecil Hyde.
and another man.
Do you think what's happening now is a simpler?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Musical,
Do you think what's happening now is a simpler kind of thing versus what used to happen then?
Yes, because this might sound strange to you. This might sound strange to you, but in the earlier days, we usually stick to more uniform sound coordination. We usually write out whatever music we are going to play before getting in the studio. I remember I told you I usually hire a place for rehearsal before getting in the studio.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Right?
Who used to write out the music? I mean, since all of it has come onto your head and you're
Yes, well, people like Roland Alfonso or Jasmine, the name.
Don Jamal.
Cecil Lloyd. And another man. Yeah. This what? Okay. So from East Road, of course.
Barbara Adams.
Yeah.
I see. Well, how did Sonny Bradshaw feature in all this? I mean, he has been around for a long time. How come he didn't get caught up as a whole?
Well, Sonny, as I could remember back, as far as I could remember back, didn't impress me.
Yeah, he didn't have a natural sound.
Nor any of the other chap. He could really like swat, but he didn't have a soul of his own.
I see.
You know, because what was very important, away from the going through your team and getting that precise, there comes the solo now, and you must be able to play a good solo.
Yeah, and that's your own thing. Nobody's not telling you what to do then. You improvise and that's
and he's not too good on that. You see?
I see. But he's probably good. Could he arrange well? I mean...
Yeah. And you see what we usually do, honestly, the men that was able to really play our music were the musicians who get themselves involved. Because like Ronald Alfonso, wherever he's playing, and as soon as he stops playing, whether it's 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock, he got to find anywhere I am playing.
Yeah.
Right? And and listen, and he see how the people react to the sound. He hear back himself, and the next time in the studio he's trying to play better or play something else, you know. And this is how we get it. You see, about the people who really just come in the studio and play and gone uptown, or whatever it is, never come out strong as the people who come back with us and enjoy it, like on Saturday nights and different nights.
Roland Alfonso was part of the Scatterlights at some stage, wasn't he? And well, I know there's an album with Don Drummond being featured.
Yes,
Scatterlights.
When Don came on, he took over the scene.
Yeah, because he was a bright at that time.
At that time, now, he was the best trombonist, and the trombone was a new instrument in the field.
When did you give a date on when Don Drummond came on the scene?
Really,
this was certainly after.
Don came both, I would say. Don came about 62.
About 62.
yes. He came before Tommy.
Yeah, about 62.
He came before Tommy.
Oh, really?
And then after he came on
He's
the
about
scene,
Which is still quite a while after you started producing your first set of
sure.
records anyway. I see. Well, I guess for my part, the obvious thing now is, you know, we've been delving around the ska thing a lot, but what triggered off Rocksteady? I mean, how come?
well, we needed another change. From the scale, we needed another sound. And along the way, we always like
create something new.
Yeah, trying to create something new, you know, experimenting along the way. And
how were you experimenting? I mean, what kinds of things were you doing?
Experimenting. Because when this junior, my baby just care for you. Don't give her, something like that. It had a kind of a steady rocking beat, you know. So we realized then, for a change, for the night, you'd be on this going stuff. You need something to break it down.
Shape.
Right? The shape, yeah. Find out if the other package ready and the invoice, kind of rush out. And out of that now, we made a song this dancing mode. But within that time now we stop using all this whole heap of horn and just emphasizing on the rhythm. So we just make it a definite rhythm thing. Forget the horn so that you can concentrate and hear the rhythm pounding there.
Did that have anything to do with the fact that you didn't have so many good horn players around again?
The drummer was off the scene.
Well, yes, but I tell you the truth. I started having difficulty with like Roland. Drummond was off the scene, and Roland was like, difficult. So we said, well, the session must go on. And we had a band here that came in for audition one day. And when I heard them, I said, alright, if you go with my turn, come in the studio. And we did our first recording with them. And they were just piano, the shark.
Yeah.
Because they said they don't realize it, but that is one of the things that give me the idea that this is a new sound. They came in
come with a song.
with piano, guitar, drums, and that was about it. And we had little percussion to it,
You know the names of, you remember the names of the musicians, the Sharks, their individual names? Because I can't remember the Sharks. So they never really got off the ground as a group, I mean.
Yeah, there was a hit tune by Iggs and Wilson.
No, but that is the Vikings play that.
Oh yeah.
Is the Vikings play that? Is it?
Yeah.
But I mean, during, I can tell you, I had a lot of confidence because
It's
this
all
is it. Take for
the
instance.
wheelers. Put
Eh?
it on them sharks, put it on them stuff.
Yeah, they did that the first backing for it, but we figured it wasn't strong enough and we did it over the Monday after.
Yeah.
But it's really sharks. Came in the studio, did the song without any horns. I didn't realize, but wait, a couple of instruments can make a nice sound without the horn.
So there were no other producers doing that sort of thing at that time?
You know.
Using a band or a group without horns or so?
No, nobody else.
So let's follow what we do now.
So after I hear the song, I said, but wait, this song crazy. So we said we're gonna have a couple of sessions with just rhythm. And I usually leave the music in the middle of the night. I would have kept up with a tune on my head. Especially knowing tomorrow's session from tonight. Not being able to write it down, so you can realize how much thing I'm trying to delay here for tomorrow.
You have tape recorder.
Then time it was so cheap and
Yeah.
So went straight inside the studio and we started doing this rap thing. We came up with this dancing mode, and before the tune really hit the public out there, we know that this is a tune that is gonna go because we are playing at several dances and we see how the people react to it, so we know, so well, this is a hit, it's not released yet. So you go in the studio, although you still try to make a thing with a difference, but the basic is still there. So we got away with this thing long till we started to hear now that, boy, this is Rocksteady, because we didn't even name it Rocksteady.
Oh, who think was responsible for that name?
John Public, man. Because the music around and people, guy just get things with his name and just like that.
And those names creating dance.
Dance.
The guy would have react to a tune and just like that,
And it's like him rocking.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask on that same point. Now at that time, it must have been around 66, 67.
Yeah.
They're around.
Yeah.
Well, I told you the other time that this guy, Len Tate, said that he was down federal and he started Rocksteady with Hopeton Lewis. Something must have take it easy or something.
No man, I tell you, we make $1 million on one Rocksteady already now, and federal decided to try it in. Because nobody really listen. If you check it,
Sorry, when did you make your dancing move? Because you said it was one of your first Rocksteady.
Rocksteady.
When was that?
Well, it's supposed to be on radio. That's what we check out
67.
the box that it was recorded. That's where we
What,
could find
67?
out.
And where was this? Hopetown Lewis?
He's 67, sometimes 67 too.
I laughed around anyhow because we the first one. As a matter of fact, we had a major tune with that beat. And that beat
You
was
see, the
going
important thing
over.
is that you might have had it on your sound system but not released.
No, release.
Release? Oh, I see.
Because of dancing mood. That
Who
was
did that again?
The Rivals.
But there were several albums which we have identified before. With tunes and the identified who was long out ahead before
For
Linfield.
Linfield and Federal.
You see, with that guys like that, no, we say they want to identify themselves a thing.
Ken Booth has been called Mr. Rocksteady.
Yeah,
As a matter of
yeah,
fact,
yeah.
I've seen an album of
Well,
it.
yes.
Before that
Yes,
night.
we realized that this thing was going on. This is the name now, and we group up a lot of that song around him, and then push out the album called Rocksteady.
Just one other last quick question, because there's no point even getting to the whole thing about reggae and how that come about. But really, who you would like to listen to when you go home? You come to the studio and I mean you put on your sound. This is your pleasure time. What kind of thing you used to listen to?
No, I am heavy on the jazz.
You're heavy on the jazz
Yeah,
side.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. What kind of people you listen to?
I like
Louis Jordan.
no, that's blues. Miles Davis,
Coltrane.
John Coltrane, Theophilus Monk, and I usually like sharing it with in the earlier days, and Charlie Parker.
Well, of course.
Yeah, quite a few of the early guys. That was jazz. Right? Then after the jazz, now my second music was rhythm and blues. Heavy rhythm and blues, ranging from Shirley and Lee, Smiley Lewis, and all of those people.
Oh no, what who are you listening to?
No? I know. A little Billy Paul, a little Aaron Melville, right? And Barry White was that, but he's repeating himself.
He just take over from our friend Isaac
Isaac
Hayes.
Hayes, yeah.
I don't really feel Isaac does it anyway. No. But
Yes,
anyway.
but this is the music business. You see, if you don't know what you're doing, you will be
Snowed.
yes, you'll be the creator of a song, but you really don't get to cash in because you really don't get in and use it up. You see?
Okay, I guess I've exhausted you. You know, I mean, there are a million and one things you could pursue.
I realize that.
And
There's a lot more to say still,
this is what I'm saying.
No, it's still on. Don't change.
Blacksteady is just an additional thing with you put no, not that. What helped the Rocksteady now is after you have a good flowing rhythm going now, you have a guitar doing a freestyle thing within the rhythm. That is still with it, Yeah.
So we're not quite like that, but I don't know why I keep remembering those kind of
well, that kind
things
of thing
being repeated.
is Rocksteady. That.
Yeah.
That
I remember doing
it.
all those kind of things.
But no,
you can still hear.
No, they improvise on it now within that guitar going because Rocksteady usually be like one or two guitar the most, but the ideal reggae will carry up to three guitars because you have one guitar in the middle there that is free, that is playing a freestyle thing, So that's the only change, but Rocksteady is still there.
Yeah, because the dance don't change.
Not some, but all kinds of little stages and styles. This is what I'd like to get into.
Yeah.
But
somebody who has kept up with the change in style.
But
Somebody
I'm
who
telling
can
you
go way back.
if you notice, even the whole record, if you play them now,
Same
you
dance.
the same new formation and movement can fit to that,
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
People have, some of the things that have never died is like legs. I mean, that always kept popping up somewhere in the middle. Your rent a tile has always been.
Yeah.
No care what, whether it's a fast and I'm tired, I'm renting a tile, and I'm doing them thing. I don't know. The reggae seems to be a faster.
things
Dan the
Rocksteady
Rocksteady,
for
Dan the
sure.
Rocksteady,
yeah.
Not quite as fast as Ska perhaps. It very depends. There
No,
are
not
reggae and
quite as
reggae.
fast as Ska, really.
One last question I want to ask. I don't remember earlier. What exactly was the blue beat?
The blue beat. What exactly was the blue beat? Was the name given to it by the English people?
You given to what?
Reggae. Rocksteady.
Our
Ska.
local music, our local music. Before we even came up with the word ska, because you see, in those days it was a new sound all over the world. You see, because like me, who realized that a little shuffle is there, mixed up with our local sound. Know that came from shuffle. That is a little boogie woogie with ska to it. So before we really came up with the name, you had people abroad now who know the proper way to really promote a thing. Know say you have to beat a name sort of thing. So them just call it the blue beat because it was really bluesy. So they call it blue. You know.
I think the best thing to ever get some more the whole record, right?
Well, this is a promise to really get some new
This is
old
what we,
record.
to hear, this is what I kept saying to for me, I have to listen to it now.
Yeah.
You can talk about it, you're blue in the face, but until I can